So the real issue I think that we're seeing, and this is something that's very important, the importance of tourism in showing integrity in what they say. And it's really important for it to have a sense of credibility. And that means that some of the politics that's been taking place in the tourism industry has got to go. And I know you're going to mention something about the UNWTO and some of the political games that it's been playing vis-a-vis other tourism conferences, and how important it is to really have credibility and be honest. So you might want to just say a few words about that whole issue.
Yes, it appears there is a conflict in the UNWTO. The UNWTO, what is the World Tourism Organization? It's a UN affiliated agency based in Madrid in Spain. This organization has been under the leadership of Mr. Zurab, who is originally from Georgia, and he took the helm in 2000.
And Georgia, you mean the country, not the state in the United States?
Oh, the United States actually not a member of the UNWTO. No, he's from the country of Georgia. And he took over from Dr. Talib Rifai, who of course is a known figure also on our news broadcast from Jordan. And with him taking the helm, really UNWTO has changed. In my opinion, this is my personal humbled opinion, it turned into kind of a Soviet type dictatorship where one man says something and everyone has to follow. And there was all the openness also in regards to the media, having press conferences, attending events, that all pretty much stopped. I cannot remember there was one press conference I was invited to in the first conference at the World Tourism Market in 2018 after he took the helm. I was at a press conference, but he insisted eTurbo News shouldn't be allowed to ask questions, and we couldn't ask questions. So there has been a lot of controversy with the UNWTO. The second player the major player in the world tourism politics is the World Travel and Tourism Council, that's known as WTTC. It's an organization based in London. And actually the founder of this organization is a person we all know. It's Dr. Jeffrey Lippman. He founded this organization several decades ago and was the first CEO. It was his brainchild, but it's now really emerged to be the organization in the world representing the private sector. So the 100 or 200, I'm not sure, or even now 300 largest companies in the world are usually their members.
And when you say the private sector, you're talking about the major big players in the private sector, not the small guys, which is represented by the World Tourism Network.
Yes, no, the big guys, million, billion-dollar companies. Like yesterday, we had an event with TUI, what's the largest tour operator in the world, and they're a member of the WTTC. Gloria Guevara, who was the Minister of Tourism from Mexico for a while, is now the CEO of this organization, and she has been tremendously trying to get a message to the world that it's time to reopen tourism safely, came up with all kinds of initiatives for anyone to buy in. She's been talking to the World Health Organization, and she also kind of is now talking to a lot of governments, because apparently there is a lot missing in what UNWTO is doing. But the major support and the members of this organization and the interests she represents is the private sector. And the Global Summit was canceled last year. It was the first supposed to be in Puerto Rico, and then it was moved to Cancun, and finally was canceled because of COVID. And now it's the second try. This year's Global Summit in Cancun is supposed to start the end of April, I think April 25th to the 28th, and is an event where you can physically, but also virtually attend. And of course, this is a very important event. The world is waiting for a step forward. They said there are security implementations to keep people safe from COVID. There's a corridor established. So all kinds of things were done, and Gloria has been working very hard to make sure this takes place. And we still don't know whether it's going to take place or not at this point. But the last thing she needed is the World Tourism Organization, what's supposed to be the biggest partner in this, representing the government in the world, scheduling an event exactly at the same time. And this is what happened yesterday. there was an event for the ministers of tourism from the Americas scheduled in cooperation with the government of the Dominican Republic exactly at the same time. And when investigating this, when talking to Gloria, this government event was proposed by the Minister of Tourism from the Dominican Republic a few days after the summit. But then Zurab insisted to have it exactly at the same day. He went on vacation to the Dominican Republic to tell people how safe it is. And of course, there has been, I guess, some talking what may be designed, at least from the UNWTO part, to destroy the summit. Now, but for the benefit of the Ministry of Tourism in the Dominican Republic, after we published our article on this yesterday, and you can see it on eTurbo News, the Minister of Tourism today contacted Gloria, and we will publish this today, and apologized and said that they really weren't aware of this conflict and they're moving the date. And so it ended up, I guess, with a happy ending. But you see, the rivalry between major organizations is still going on. The politics.
That's really the essential part.
Yes.
It's not so much the having a meeting or not meeting. It's that when we have so many problems in the world of tourism, so many problems with COVID, with so many other issues, with governments overspending, with tax hikes. The United States is facing the largest tax hikes in history, and especially on organizations such as eTurbo News will be under major tax hike. That and survival is really hard. We need cooperation. We can't afford to have people fighting each other and undercutting each other, because tourism can't make it under those circumstances. We will have destroyed our own goose that laid the golden egg. And so, you're 1,000% right. We need to work together and to create credibility and not have infighting, because that's really dangerous.
Yeah, and let's hope that this is a lesson for Zurab, that he understands, even with his influence, there are others with influence. And let's come together. As you said, everyone is in this. You don't have to like everyone who you work with, but you have to work together. And
you have to be honest and credible, and it should not be seen that you have infighting, because that's the part that's dangerous, is when people are trying to undermine each other and rather work together. And so for tourism to work, it's got to be the airlines have got to work with the hotels, have got to work with the restaurants, have got to work with ministries of health, have got to work with security, have got to work with police, have got to work with security agencies. All of these are really important. And if they're not brought together as a single unit, then it's kind of like the body. If one organ collapses, the whole body collapses. And so we got to make sure that we have a strong tourism body where we're all helping each other, not trying to harm each other.
Absolutely. Well, with this, I think we're at the end of our summary today, and we're going to talk a little bit more tomorrow and see how this world is developing.
Yes. And the real issue is learning to work together. That's the message. And not hurting each other, but helping each other. If we can accomplish that, we will have made a major step forward.
Thank you, Peter. And I will now play back a portion of this phone call I made to the Ministry of Tourism for the Dominican Republic. And I talked to a very nice receptionist for the Honorable Minister, telling us...
yes, hi, good afternoon. Do you speak English?
Yes, I speak English. And what can I help you today?
Oh, that's wonderful. Are you in the office of His Excellency David Collado?
Yes, I am the receptionist of the David Collado, Minister of Tourism here in the Dominican Republic. What can I help you?
Okay. We were surprised. No one is condemned. We were very surprised that the Secretary General for the UNWTO, Mr. Zurab, when he was in the Dominican Republic on a private vacation, apparently met with His Excellency David Collado, and at that time I think there was an event planned in the Dominican Republic for the Ministers for the Americas in regards to a COVID response. What is very good. We support this. But then apparently this event was planned and was moved exactly to the same dates. Gloria was having her summit in Cancun, and Gloria is trying very hard. I mean, this lady fights like a wolf, trying to have this event take place, during the most impossible times. And I thought it was quite surprising that the Dominican Republic, as a major player in tourism, would go along with scheduling an event exactly at the same time and the same day, reaching out to the same people. I mean, it's not the time to compete right now, it's the time to work together. So
I know that for the OMT, for the Minister of Americas, right? That's the event you're calling for.
Yes.
That event was postponed, and the new day will be sent by email. I'm gonna verify somebody can send you an email with the information of that event that we were going to be hosting. But as far as I know, it's postponed because there is the other event in Cancun.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for your help.
Well, it's been my pleasure, Mr. Signage. You've been talking to Angela. I'm the receptionist here at Minister of Tourism, the office of Mr. Collado.
Talking to you, and thank you. Muchas gracias.